Greetings, Fire Chargers, Darkblade here, and I am back. Sorry I was gone. So, how should I commemorate returning? With some math, I think. So, how to personally math out the conversion between Gregorian and Hijri dates. For those of you who don't know, there is an article on how to do this with the Gregorian and Hebrew dates. You can find this on Converting Between Dates in the Hebrew and Roman Calendars. The listed authors are John Conway, Gabriel Agus, and David Slutsky. It is in the College Mathematics Journal, Volume 51, Number 5, November 20, and the page range is 322 to 329. So that's the Hebrew calendar. What about the Hijri calendar, also known as the Islamic calendar? Now, something's weird. I said, wait, where's my widget? Where did my screen work? Here it is. I said personally math out in my search query, and I still have Excel, applied Excel, and this is also applied Excel because the word Excel is in the name of this channel. Excel, Stack Overflow, which has to do with programming. I don't want programming. I want personal math. Oh, look. Another Excel one. Excel. 我说自己的数学. I'm looking for required only. And it's computer programming stuff, which is not what I want. Let's go to Islamic Finder just to sample. There's something on Quora. There are 7 actual answers. Unfortunately, this one is, what is it called? AI generated. And it also involves, what is it called? This JDN as an intermediary, which I'll be fine with if it is necessary. Plus, I also found Astronomy Answers has a page on converting between different calendars and the Julian day number. And the Gregorian and Hijri calendars are 2 of those. And is the Hebrew calendar, but it's by far the most complicated one that was on the Astronomy Answers page when I checked. So skip the AI generated one, skip the paywalled one. This is Excel, but it does have actual math. Here is a math one. This is not actually an answer. This link doesn't actually go anywhere. And this just says go use Islamic Finder. So first I will test this one out. So it says in Excel, convert from never mind, this is too Excel-y. Here's the one. It is math. And this is by an author called Alusuna Academia, former professor theologian at recently not teaching the subject of theology in any institution. Author has 1.4k answers and 583.2k answer reviews. Updated 2 years ago. I have written a full discussion on that topic, but unfortunately I did not provide any solved example to that conversion. It was all algebraic formulae. Fortunately for me, algebraic formulae and not Excel stuff is what I am looking for. So it may be inconvenient to those who are not students of mathematics. Hello, students of mathematics here. Therefore, I'm assuming it meant therefore, I decided to present a solved example of the problem. However, if you are a student of mathematics, then you are requested and recommended to see that answer in the post somewhere else on Quora, specifically in my answers. So apparently, this person has a previous answer on here on their Quora page that has this mapped out. For some reasons, comments are generally disabled in my answers. I shall provide, inshallah, both conversions. Please note that this formula cannot predict the visibility of the crescent and may have an error of 2 days in either minus VE or plus VE. Apparently, if the relevant authorities cannot actually, if it should be the first day of the month, and from a purely lunar perspective, the crescent moon has just begun, but for stuff like cloud cover or any other reason, observers cannot actually see the authorities cannot actually see the crescent moon on that day, then they will wait until the next day where they hopefully can see the moon to declare that the new month has officially begun. By the way, in both the Hebrew and Islamic calendar, a new day begins at sunset. For example, so in Islam, since it's currently after sunset, and the Jewish and Islamic reckoning is that maybe 5 hours ago when the sun was still up, that is part of yesterday. And today began after the sun set. Anyway, time for me to get into this math. Suppose that there is a Gregorian date as follow: XYZ AD equals eta epsilon xi xe EAH, where X is the year, Y is the month, and A is the date. I'm assuming that means Z is the date. And first we have to find the value of the constant variable K, which is almost constant for a century. This is found empirically. We used the Meccan date for our calculation. Say the date in Mecca, and yes, I am going to say, pronounce it Mecca regardless of how this answer author spells it is 10/01/1445 AH, corresponding to 28/01/2023 CE. So it seems that this author for the Gregorian format has gone with day then month. But I don't know if they're also doing that with the Hijri calendar, so I can't tell whether this is the 10th of Muharram or the 1st of Shawwal. I'll just try both on Islamic Finder. Papa Bats, go away. Shema? Shema? Why did that happen? The switch button is not working. Let's go to first, finally, 1440. Shema? Convert, that is April 10th, 2024. Now let us go with the 10th day of Muharram in that same year, 28th of July, 2023. And the whole thing ended up reloading. And I need to go back to only the ones that are actually answers. So stop doing that. Try to so we got 1445 /1 -10 and 2023 7/28 18 45 1. So now we can find S by using the formula. So we have x minus 1 times 365.25, then which is approximately how many days there are in a Gregorian year. Technically, it's a bit less than that, but then plus y minus 1, 30.5. Is this trying to find roughly how many days have passed since January 1st, year 1? Now we find that this was in curly braces, followed by a slash, which I'm guessing means that this entire thing is going to be divided by a 365.25, and then we put a square bracket around here and here. Then we subtract 621.54 and one more square bracket around that. Then we take the result of this, I'm assuming, and we multiply that by, what's it called, 365.25 equals S. Now we find S by using the formula eta minus 1. That's sigma. Eta minus 1 on 354.37 plus epsilon plus 1 plus Xi equals sigma. I don't know why this is in, what's it called, parentheses. Oh, I might have accidentally said epsilon plus 1. It should be epsilon minus 1. I don't know why that phrase is in parentheses. Maybe there was originally supposed to be a coefficient multiplied by that, and the author forgot to write it. Now we have K equals epsilon minus, no, K equals S minus sigma. Now we have epsilon vowels. Apparently it not one are make K more accurate. But if the epsilon, is one that really results in a K that is easier to use or more convenient. In our case, we will shall assume epsilon equals 1 for the sake of simplicity and leave the case of inequality to reader as an exercise. But even this less accurate value is sufficiently accurate for the entire 21st century. Using the EQ1, we get sigma equals 1445 minus 1, 354.37 plus 1 minus 1. So epsilon, and epsilon is 1. That means that the Hijri date is in the month of Muharram. And sigma equals 10. So yeah, this was 10th of Muharram. Oh yeah, so epsilon minus 1 was supposed to have, what is it called? A coefficient of 29.5 plus so apparently 1445 minus 1. Yeah, the correct one. Yeah, so the creator using 1 instead of 7 right here was indeed a typo. So let me also do the math. So we have 1444, which is 1445 minus 7 times. I'm going to pause this while I do math so that you don't have too much of the video taken up by stuff where nothing is happening on screen. So far I found a value of, what is it called? Sigma that is not the same as the author. They got sigma as 511,720.15, and I got 511,720.28. Now I need to find S, the Roman letter S. So I did this, and for S, I got 511,728.76425. For that, I did it called all of this before you subtract 621.54 to about 3 decimal places, which is slightly, because 3 decimal places is slightly more precise than 1 calendar day. Wait. Anyway, this is probably counting. This is like, never mind. What was I saying? But this author got an S of 511,729.015, which is also what my the calculator on my phone got. So it got a K of about 8.7345. My K was a bit smaller at about 8.48. But now let's see what this person means. As we now find the value in the case of Mecca, we may proceed to convert any Gregorian date in the 21st century. Now we use this formula. So C equals square bracket, opening curly bracket, opening parentheses, x minus 1, close parentheses, opening parentheses, 365.25, close parentheses, plus, opening parentheses, y minus 1, close parentheses, opening parentheses, 30.5, close parentheses, plus z minus k, close curly bracket, slash, or for divided by 365.25, close brackets, minus 621.54, close bracket again, times 365.25. Now, since what I got for this giant thing was 738,746.5, and this giant thing, before we divide anything by 365.25, minus let me see. For now, I'm just converting it. See if it converts to the correct Hijri date that we started with. In tomorrow's video, I will convert it to a custom date of my choosing. This is just a randomly picked out Gregorian date that the author selected, which is, what is it? February 27th, 2024. Point. I'll pause this again. Okay, so something interesting happened. When I subtracted k for, what's it called? A from this and did the thing with the original Gregorian date in order to get C. C ended up being the sigma of the corresponding Hijri date. Now I will use my calculator to check if this person is if this person's math is in order for the date that they picked, 202 times 86, 5.25. Okay, divided by. So here they divided by 365.35 instead of 365.25, which I am guessing is just a typographical error. 365.25 minus 6. Time. Yeah, I don't know how this person's getting like 738,000 for C. Am I missing something? Let me see. X minus 1. It's 1 minus 1. Yeah, from what I got, this is just like 200, like 220,000 off. What is 220,000 divided by 365.25?
220,000 divided by 365.25 is approximately 602.3271.
Yeah, so it seems that this computation of C is just wrong. Then C is the lunate. Then the lunate sigma is 300 C divided by 354.37, which is the supposed to be the decimal form of the Hijri year number. I mean AH or HE in decimal form. why is, and now here it weirdly divides by, ends by 365.25, even though both here and here had established they're dividing by 354.37. So I'm confused. Now, 620, this lunate sigma minus 621.54 equals this curly thing. Equals final sigma prime. Oh, by the way, did I say lunate sigma earlier? Sorry, this is a final sigma, not a lunate sigma. A4 is the Hydra year. Sigma equals 1401.54. Now I'm confused. Times 360. Well, it's 1444.60. Next we have int this plus 1 equals the eta equals the integer part of a number. It is 1445. Next they find, what is it called? The decimal part is founded by multiplying times 354.37 by 29.5 is the integer part of s plus, and the integer part of, what is this, of say plus, and then plus 1 is the Hijri month, which should be 8, and the decimal portion of was now I'm confused about everything. So I will scroll, and if anyone can offer any assistance, please leave it in the comments in that video, and I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye, Fire Chargers. Darkblade out.